I would get cut over the cube.
Wow.
For me, so like my first reaction, I'm not thinking I'm cut. So when I touch my face, it's like, oh, I feel the blood. I feel the blood, so I just start banging out.
Yeah.
I don't even know who, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, niggas be dig riding gang, so I know how that shit goes. So basically, I was just more shocked my first time, but it's the feel. I know it's supposed to happen one day. Like, I scored too much for it not to happen to me, for me.
Yeah.
This is Suave Drilly, a 27-year-old rapper from the Bronx who walked out of a government building on a regular Wednesday afternoon and was ambushed by 3 masked gunmen waiting outside. The whole thing was caught on camera, and here is what nobody is saying loud enough. This was not random. Before we get to the day everything ended, we need to go back to where it all started, because you cannot understand how Suave Drilly died without first understanding how he lived in the world he came up in. John Martinez was born in the Dominican Republic around 1998. He came to the United States when he was 3 years old, and his family settled in the Norwood and Bedford Park areas of the Bronx, right around Mosholu Parkway and Gun Hill Road. If you have never been to that part of the Bronx, picture dense apartment buildings, corner stores, parks where the whole block comes out in the summer, and underneath all of that, a constant tension between the life you want and the life the streets keep pulling you toward. That is where John grew up. That is what shaped him. He went by Suave Drilly in the rap world, and he rolled with a crew called the Drillies. They were a group of young rappers from the same blocks who started making noise right when the whole Bronx was beginning to get its flowers in the drill music scene. Drill, if you were not familiar, is a style of rap that came out of Chicago and took root in New York. Raw and specific about the streets, the rivalries, the blocks. It does not dress anything up, and the Drillies were exactly that. Real kids rapping about real life. Suave was not the first one out of the crew to put music on the internet. His childhood friend Spaz Drilly had been dropping tracks since around 2016, and the two of them had been tight since they were kids walking home from school together.
Talk about how you met Spaz, though. What was that? How long you have known one another? How did y'all meet?
Well, Spaz, that's like my childhood friend right there. That's like my brother.
Yeah.
For me, like, if I got it, he got it. He got it, I got it. For me, like, me and Spaz, like, we live, like, probably, like, 2-3 minutes away from each other.
Yeah.
So, like, I'm picking him up from school. He waiting for me after school. We walking home together. For me, regular shit.
Yeah, yeah. What was it like when you seen him kind of start rapping and kind of, like, taking off with the rapping and all that?
Like, I've been around him for so long. Like, this is, like, once I first seen him, like, start, it was like, I knew it was over. Like, I knew... Yeah. He got it.
Yeah, yeah.
The track that first put Suave on the map was called Op Spotter, and honestly, it happened almost by accident. He was at the studio with Spaz one day, not even planning to record, and Spaz basically told him to get in the booth.
He was really rapping way more than me. It's like that one time we dropped Op Spotter, I just happened to be in the studio, and he was like, jump on this.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, he was like, yo, jump on this, I got a beat. And he played the beat, he rapped.
Yeah.
Shit like that.
Got you. Who's some of the people, because, you know, now you're rapping, but who's some of the people you kind of grew up listening to even, or that inspired you to even do music?
I mean, like, to do music, I'm not really, like, I don't listen to what everybody else listen to, like,
yeah.
So, for me.
So who's some of the people you do listen to?
Who do I listen to?
Yeah, yeah.
Like, on a regular?
Yeah.
I listen to Dirk.
Okay.
Listen to, first and foremost, I definitely listen to Spaz Drilly every day.
Yeah, yeah.
Mandatory.
Yeah.
As Mando. I listen to the Trenches a lot, though. I don't really go off them big name artists like that. I support the Trenches and shit.
Gotcha.
Like, niggas still dropping music from the hood, niggas I see outside every day.
Yeah.
Niggas I chill with, I rather support them, for me.
Bet.
2 quick verses cooked up in the moment, and that song would go on to rack up over 900,000 views on YouTube. But here's the painful part. Neither Suave nor Spaz were free to see that happen. They dropped the song in July of 2020. Spaz got arrested in August, and Suave got arrested in September. And by the time the views were climbing, both of them were already locked up. They built something real and never got to stand in it. The song kept growing while they were inside, and the Bronx kept watching.
It's like it started creeping up, but we didn't really see the views till like we got locked up.
Yeah.
Then we get locked up, the views start climbing up.
Oh, wow. So y'all never got to really experience...
Nah, we dropped that July. Spaz got booked in August.
Damn.
I got booked in September.
Wow. And by that time, how many views did it have?
We only seen like 100K.
Wow. And now it's probably at like 800, 900, I think. I was checking.
It's at 900.
900, right?
It's at
Yeah.
900 if I'm not mistaken.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
Now here's where the story gets deeper, because Suave Drilly was not just a rapper. He was someone who lived by a very specific code, and that code put him in the middle of some serious situations. One of the most talked about was his history with another Bronx rapper named K Flock. Suave mentioned it in basically every interview he did, and the way he told it, on Halloween night of 2019, he was by himself in K Flock's area early in the morning. He wasn't really planning anything specific, and then he saw K walking down the block with a girl.
He fake got low on us. He got low on us. I ain't go cap. He got low on us.
Yeah.
The third time I was by myself. This was like 20, I want to say like 2019. Was it 2019? Yeah, I think it was like 2019, Halloween. For me, I ended up, young and dumb. I ended up going over there on some like board shit for me.
Yeah. To the sub?
Yeah, I ended up,
Okay.
I was already like on Webster and shit, Fordham and Webster at the bus stop, dropping somebody off. Then I'm like, might as well just, like, these niggas been talking shit all week for me.
Yeah.
Let me see who I see out here.
Yeah.
And it's early, it's fake early. It's like 8 in the morning. For me, I'm just dropping somebody off, and then I just end up going. I'm like, fuck it, let me see who's out here. So I end up going in a couple stores and shit. There's nobody in the deli. Regular shit, regular New York City shit, go in the store real quick. I comes out, I'm fake. Like back then, like niggas was heavy on the like, fake gotta record real quick.
Yeah.
So I'm fake recording. I'm like, yeah, this shit dry. I see somebody walking down the block. So I'm like, damn, I end the video. I put my phone in my pocket and shit. So I got the hoodie on, I see it's a girl and a boy. So I'm like, damn, it's a girl and a boy. So I'm walking, I get close, I see it's him. We lock eyes and shit.
Yeah.
It was up after that. It started getting it on. Like, well, we ain't really get it on. Like, I beat the shit out of him. I ain't gonna cap.
Damn.
He said K tried to run into a building, but the door was locked, and he caught him right outside and went to work. The only witness was the girl who was with K. When Suave tracked her down on Facebook later, hoping she would confirm the story publicly, she told him she wanted no part of it. So there was no video, no confirmation either way, just Suave's word and the notable fact that K never came out and said it did not happen.
I ends up getting the best of him. I spins off. Boom, this one I call my man's BJ. I call my man's BJ right here.
Yeah.
I'm like, yo, bro, I just ran into the little KK nigga. For me, that with him. Facts. I wish it was visuals on that. Like I tried to get in contact with the superintendent of the building.
Yeah.
Like I was trying to get the cameras and shit, cause like the town got to see that. Like niggas be capping. The thing is, niggas know I'm not capping. He don't talk about it. Like,
yeah.
If it didn't happen, he would have said it didn't happen.
Yeah.
I don't know if he said it happened or not.
Whether you believe him or not, this was the kind of energy Suave carried everywhere. He wasn't performing tough for the camera. He was reporting on his actual life, and that life had a lot of enemies attached to it. By the time Suave sat down for his big interview after coming home, he had been through a legal situation that would have broken most people. It didn't start with the big indictment. It started years before that with a pattern of arrests that kept stacking up.
I got booked previously.
Yeah.
This been ongoing. Like 2018, I got booked. I got booked for a gun charge.
Okay.
I guess released on R&R, inoperable firearm. I
Yeah.
guess released. I bail out. I mean, I didn't even bail out. I was about to bail out, then I get released. So then I stay in the town for like a year. I guess booked February 25th, 2019.
Yeah.
I guess booked for attempt murder. I bails out. Then I stay in the town I bailed out March. It took me like a month to bail out. I came back to jail. When was it? I want to say April.
Okay.
No, I want to say May. It was May.
Okay.
I got booked for some shit at the courthouse. Some dumb shit.
Yeah.
I got into it and shit. So I got booked at the courthouse. I bails out for that. Then I get booked again, July 4th, 2019. I get booked for reckless endangerment.
Yeah.
I bails out. They give me another bail. I bail out again. So that I bail out 3 times by then.
Yeah. How much are all these bails? I know the bread is just adding up at this point, right? Like.
Yeah. Hell yeah. Well, the first one was $100K.
Yeah.
For the 10% of that is $10K.
$10K. Yeah.
Then the second one was like 50K. 10% of that is $5K.
Mm-hmm.
Then the last one on July 4th was like $2,500. Like
Okay.
$2,500.
Okay.
I built out and shit. So I stay in the town. From July 4th, 2019, all the way to September 2nd, 2020. I get booked again. So throughout that whole shit, I'm fake going back and forth to court.
Yeah.
Mad shit going on. So I get booked September 2nd, 2020. I get stopped in a car, an illegal stop and frisk. It was illegal, but I still got arrested anyways, and then I ain't been home since.
Wow.
The first bail was set at $100,000, meaning he had to come up with $10,000 just to get out of a cell. The second was $50,000. The third was $2,500. All of this before he was even 22 years old, and none of it slowed him down enough to stop what was coming. Then, in September of 2020, he got stopped in a car in what he said was an illegal traffic stop. He still got arrested, and from that moment forward, he was not free again for nearly 4 years. While Suave was already inside fighting his original charges, the Bronx District Attorney dropped a massive indictment in April of 2022 on him and 20 other members of the G-Side Drilly gang. The NYPD called it Operation Drilly. 82 charges across the whole case, covering 32 separate violent acts that prosecutors said happened between September 2018 and March 2022. The charges included conspiracy, attempted murder, weapons possession, and more. The gang was accused of 2 murders. 24-year-old James Rivera was chased down and shot on July 20th, 2020, outside a building on Decatur Avenue. 20-year-old Delilah Vasquez was shot at close range inside an apartment on Hull Avenue in March of 2021, and the whole thing was captured on surveillance cameras. Those are the 2 deaths that anchored the case. Beyond those, there were non-fatal shootings, a barbershop attack, an assault inside Rikers, and an attempted robbery of a college student that left the victim needing blood transfusions. And then there was the music. Prosecutors brought Suave's own drill videos into the courtroom as evidence, arguing that the lyrics in the footage showed the gang boasting about their crimes. The same songs the streets were celebrating became exhibits in a criminal case. That's a line that gets crossed more and more in New York gang prosecutions, and it raises real questions about where music ends and evidence begins. But that debate did not help Suave while he was sitting in a cell. Suave described the moment he found out about the indictment while he was on Rikers Island, and it's one of those stories that sticks with you.
I goes to rec. It's fake raining that day, but I just needed air that day. I don't know. I decided to go to rec, and it's fake raining.
Yeah.
Fake was bugging, but I go to rec anyways. I get wet. I gotta go back to the crib, shower and shit. So before I get to the crib, I'm walking through the hallway. There's a couple COs like, I just seen you on the news. Like, you gonna see when you get to the house. So I'm thinking he capping. I'm thinking like he just bluffing. I goes to the crib. I see everybody like just like look at me like so boom. They like, yo, you was just on the news. I'm like, for what? And he told me, he broke it down like, yo, I just got indicted. I ain't believe it. So now it's by then it's like 2:30. I guess the news come on at 4. So I had to wait till 4. I seen all our faces on ABC, CNN, Telemundo, all sorts of shit.
That's crazy, man.
The phones on Rikers shut off at 2:40 in the afternoon and didn't turn back on until 4 o'clock. So for an hour and 20 minutes, he had to sit in that cell, unable to call anyone or confirm anything, just waiting with the weight of what he had been told. Then the news came on. What came after that was years of courtrooms, changing lawyers, and the state throwing numbers at him that he kept turning down because none of them were where he needed to be.
They first offered me 15. It was 15 to 25 if I blow the conspiracy in the first.
Yeah.
So what I like, time going on, 2021, town going crazy, 2022, town going crazy, we still locked up. Then like 2022 they offered me, I would go to court one day, they offered me 10. They go down from 15 to 10 years.
Yeah.
I'm like, nah, can't take that.
Got you.
So,
you know, what made you say no to that? Was because some people might be like, yo, if I got like 6 charges, let me just take this and count my blessings. What made you say no and fight it out?
Sometimes it's like, you gotta let them give you that time. Like, you can't just like give up that easy.
Gotcha.
For me, it's all a mind game and a weighing game.
Yeah.
To be honest.
Okay.
So I'm like, nah. So a whole year goes by. Courts is moving slow. Remember the pandemic, all that. So the whole time, we're not even going to court like that. We going to court like every month, every other 2 months, shit like that, weird shit. So where I was at, long story short, 2023 comes, a whole year later, I goes to court. They try to offer me 8 now. 8 for all my charges.
Yeah.
I'm still like, nah.
He turned them all down. He went through 4 different lawyers while the courts moved at a crawl, slowed down even more by the pandemic, going months between appearances. The thing that mattered most to him through all of it was not implicating anyone else in the process of getting himself out.
My biggest thing was like, I didn't want to implicate nobody, so this is my first time locked up. I'm asking questions like, listen, if I take a plea deal to my charges on the indictment, like how does it, like, do I implicate anybody? And my lawyer let me know like, nah, there's no way you can implicate nobody. You're taking responsibility for your charges on the indictment. I mean,
gotcha.
So I ended up taking a couple charges and shit.
When they finally came down to 4 years with 5 years of supervision after release, he had already been inside for 3.5 years. He took it. He pled to assault in the second degree, drug charges, and conspiracy in the second degree on the indictment. He kept his mouth shut about everyone else, served his time, and in January of 2024, he walked out. People talk about doing time like it's one long, miserable stretch, but Suave described it in more detail than that. He had a routine that kept him sane, up at 5 a.m. every single day, on the phone early, cooking with the guys in the pantry, going to the yard to play ball, sitting in on programs from outside organizations that came in to talk to the guys. He said the afternoons moved faster because he stayed on the phone, talking to people back in the Bronx, keeping up with everything happening on the outside. But the nights were different. When that cell door closed, it was just him alone with the numbers he had been offered and the fear that the people he cared about were forgetting about him.
I feel like people start thinking about shit like when the cell doors close, like when it's time to lock in, then it's just you in the cell. You start thinking about all them numbers. You start thinking the people gonna forget about you and shit like that.
Yeah.
And then when he went upstate to finish the last stretch of his sentence, something happened that he was very open about. He got cut. Someone reached over the divider in his cube while he was laying down and sliced him across the face. He said he didn't even know what happened at first, not until he touched his face and felt the blood. Then he just started fighting back.
In the process of me getting backdoored, I'm fake first time upstate. Niggas is showing me mad love. I don't know these niggas over there, they showing me mad love. We eating together and shit like that. I'm putting niggas on the phone with bitches and all that. Then next thing you know, like, I'm in my cube one day laying down and shit. I get caught over. I would get cut over the cube.
Wow.
For me, so like my first reaction, I'm not thinking I'm cut. So when I touch my face, it's like, oh, I feel the blood. I feel the blood. So I just start banging out.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They ever said like why they did it, or it was just like?
Nah, I don't know. I don't really know why. Like, I don't even know who, to be honest.
Yeah.
Like, niggas be dick riding gang, so I know how that shit goes. So basically, I was just more shocked my first time, but it's the feel. I know it's supposed to happen one day. Like, I scored too much for it not to be happen to me. For me.
Yeah.
So when it happened, I just went as it went.
He said that in a place like that, getting caught slipping can happen to anyone who is doing enough. The only thing that matters is what you do right after. Suave Drilly came home on parole in January of 2024, and the first thing he did when he got back to his actual house was go see his daughter. He had only been able to see her one time in nearly 4 years, one visit right before his release in May when she came to see him. And when he finally got to hold her again, you could hear in how he talked about it that he was trying to hold himself together. He was assigned to report regularly to the Bronx 2 parole office at 26 Bruckner Boulevard in Mott Haven. Anyone who wanted to find him knew exactly where he would be and roughly when. That predictability would cost him dearly. But Suave wasn't sitting still. He got right back into the studio and dropped Back on My Bully, a track filmed by Clo Visions where he shouted out his locked-up brothers by name: Leaky Drilly, Millie Drilly, Swift Drilly, the whole list. He wasn't pretending the past didn't happen. He was picking up from exactly where he left off, making it clear he was still standing for his people and still in the game. He talked in interviews about wanting to find his sound again, wanting to work with his guy Yami G, and wanting to keep pushing until the industry started giving the Bronx Drilly wave the recognition it was owed.
It took off, and then you wasn't able to really experience that. Now that you are home, what are some changes you'd like to make when it comes to the music, or what are some things you're working on? All of that.
Right now, I'm just really trying to get my sound back. Like, I'm just trying to see like what flows I want to keep, what flows I don't want to keep, like how I react to different beats and shit like that.
In June of 2025, he dropped a track called Danger with Blizzy Drilly, which would end up being one of his last releases. He had a handful of other songs still out there: Vibes, Ubers and Looters, Black Ops, Everything Trendy Freestyle, and he was building momentum the slow and real way, not chasing trends but trying to lock in his own lane. Wilfredo Hirazulo of the Hug the Block Foundation, who works with young men from these neighborhoods, said Suave was genuinely focused on making music peacefully after everything he had been through. He wasn't performing a comeback story, he was actually building one. But here's the thing about that life. The music in the streets were never fully separate for Suave Drilly, and the enemies his lyrics had made were still out there, very much alive, and they had not forgotten anything he said. People who followed Suave on social media in the months before his death noticed something about how he was moving. He was comfortable, posting up on blocks, moving through areas, standing out in the open in places where anybody paying attention would know exactly who he was and what he represented. And given the diss tracks he had made, the public fight stories he had told in interviews, the gang indictment that had put his face on the news, there were people with reasons to be watching him very closely. That was P Films reflecting on what he had seen before the shooting, and it is an honest observation. When you are someone who has publicly dissed rivals by name, told stories about fighting specific people, and caught a gang indictment that put your face on the national news, being too relaxed in public is a real risk. And the parole office visits made that risk even more specific, because those visits put him at a known location on a known schedule, and that is exactly the kind of information someone looking for an opportunity would use. Around 5:50 in the evening on October 15th, 2025, Suave Drilly walked out of the Bronx 2 parole office at Alexander Avenue and Bruckner Boulevard in Mott Haven after completing his regular check-in. 3 to 4 masked men rushed toward him from outside and opened fire, hitting him multiple times in the torso. Parole officers ran out immediately and started trying to help him. NYPD arrived and performed CPR right there on the sidewalk while a crowd gathered around them, and someone in that crowd was recording. An eyewitness at the scene named Clarissa Alieto described seeing the gunman move directly and deliberately toward the parole office entrance, which made it clear immediately that this was not a random act of violence. These people knew he would be there and had planned this out. After the shooting, they fled east on East 132nd Street and disappeared before law enforcement could respond. Suave Drilly was rushed to Lincoln Hospital, where he was pronounced dead. The NYPD launched an investigation out of the 40th Precinct Detective Squad, working alongside the Bronx Homicide Unit.
But we begin tonight with a developing story out of the Bronx, where a search is now on for a gunman who shot and killed a man just moments after he left a meeting with his parole officer. Eyewitness News reporter Josh Einiger live on the scene in Mott Haven tonight. Josh?
And Mike, the NYPD crime scene unit will be working well into the night, gathering evidence here on the scene of this apparent execution of a 27-year-old man in the late afternoon. Detectives now trying to figure out why. With the scene tonight under control, the work of the crime scene unit seemed eerily calm compared to the chaos here hours earlier. In radio transmissions, a panicked parole officer was fighting back crowds on the street as she frantically called for an ambulance after a shooting, and a police dispatcher struggled to make sense of it all.
Who was shot? Sir, back off! Back off! Who was shot? Parole was shot. A parole. Parole was shot. Please send someone to 79 Help is on the way, ma'am. Help is on the way.
People were getting close, and they were like, back up, you know, with their guns out.
It all unfolded right in front of Clarissa Alieto after the shooting of a 27-year-old man while he left a scheduled meeting with his parole officer at a state parole office here in Mott Haven. Minutes earlier, she'd already called police when she saw a group of men approaching the office and just knew something wasn't right.
I saw masks, ski masks, coverings. So, and I heard like, move, yo. When you hear that, you know the activity, you know what's going to happen.
Cops say the men made a beeline for the parolee, shooting him multiple times. He died at the hospital. It happened in the middle of the recently gentrified Mott Haven section of the South Bronx, where neighbors say the parole office has been a magnet for crime.
We've been talking with the state about getting the parole. They have a 10-year lease here, about getting this parole office relocated. People know when a releasee is going to see their parole officer, right? And that's the time that they try to maximize and attack. And then the people around are the people who are caught, unfortunately, in the mix.
And we did ask the office, the state office that controls the parole system, for comment on those comments about its office here in the South Bronx, but it referred all calls to the NYPD, which is in the middle of investigating this homicide. The victim in this case has not been publicly identified. Police are right now looking for 3 people who fled the scene. We're live in the Mott Haven section of the Bronx tonight. Josh Einiger, Channel 7, Eyewitness News.
Police just identified the victim who died in last night's shooting near a parole office in Mott Haven. News 12's Brittany Cadet joins us now from where this all happened with the latest information. Brittany, what can you tell us?
Yeah, Marcy, police tell us that the man who was shot and killed here on Alexander Avenue last night here is 27-year-old John Martinez of the Bronx. He was shot just steps away from a parole office here, again on Alexander Avenue. I do want to note, though, that back in 2022, we did cover the takedown of about 20 members of the G-Side Drilly gang. John Martinez, also known as Suave Drilly in the drill rap world, was on that indictment. So it's not clear if the two are the same person. Police have not yet confirmed that, but the ages do match up right now, so we're still looking into that this morning. But take a look at the scene last night. It was very active with officers here just investigating. Police say they were called here to Alexander Avenue and Bruckner Boulevard just before 6 o'clock yesterday evening in the middle of the after-work rush. Cops say they found 27-year-old Martinez shot multiple times in his torso. Witnesses told us they heard at least 7 shots, and parole officers rushed out of the nearby building to help and keep crowds back. And right now, police are searching for 4 men in connection to that deadly shooting. They ran away after those shots were fired here on Alexander Avenue. So if you have any information that can help police in this investigation, call the Crime Stoppers hotline. For now, we're live here in Mott Haven. I'm Brittany Cadet, News 12, The Bronx.
In the days after the shooting, detectives released descriptions of the suspects, including one dressed in all black with white sneakers, another in a gray sweatshirt, and a third in black over gray. They asked the public for any information and directed tips to Crime Stoppers at 1-800-577-TIPS. But as of 2026, no arrests have been made and the investigation remains open. And that is not unusual for cases like this in the Bronx. Gang-related homicides in these neighborhoods are notoriously hard to close because witnesses are reluctant to come forward when they know the kind of people involved. Encrypted messaging makes evidence harder to collect, and the community has a deep distrust of talking to police about anything. Investigators had no security camera footage that led anywhere. The men in masks were in and out in seconds. Cases like that can take years, and some never get solved at all. The community, for its part, responded quickly and with real emotion. Videos of kids from the Norwood neighborhood dancing to Suave's music near the Williamsbridge Oval started circulating online in his memory. Tributes came from artists and fans across the Bronx. People who knew him personally spoke about his daughter, about the father he was trying to be after coming home, about the music he was still building. Suave Drilly's OpSpotter video is sitting at over 900,000 views and still climbing. He told interviewers he wanted to see it hit 1 million. He just is not here to watch it happen. He always said the most important thing was how you responded when things went wrong, how you kept going no matter what came at you. For most of his life, that is exactly what he did. He came from the Dominican Republic, grew up on Gun Hill Road, built a name for himself in one of the most competitive rap scenes in the country, survived a federal-style indictment, did nearly 4 years, came home and got right back to work. He kept going until he couldn't anymore. Who do you think possibly shot Suave? Let me know in the comments section. Click on one of the cards on your screen to see more videos like this. See you in the next one.